Are you the boss?
I'm the boss. I'm the boss. You have to do whatever I tell you to do.
Oh. Sharp. Part one of today's activities. Gonna install floating floorboards on this Pebble Creek shower. It doesn't drain fantastically. The water sits there. It gets mossy very, very fast. We could really use a high pressure hose, a gurney, they call them in Australia. In America, I think a gurney is an ambulance bed. If anyone knows where I can find one, hire one around Pattaya, drop me a note. Hello! True Thai fashion. They forgot to put that waterproof barrier under the cement fence. 8 or 10 years the water has seeped up into the concrete, and that's why all the paint is peeling off from the bottom upwards. Whereas at the top, it's fine. Can't do anything about that except sand it back, primer, sealer, and repaint it. So I'm off to find some paint. As cheap as possible. Down at Bangkok International Hospital, Pattaya. But not for any of the reasons that you think. My beautiful cousin back in Sydney decided to go and have a baby. I'll be going back at Christmas and I'll be meeting the young one. Whooping cough is everywhere in Australia. Thus, I've come here to get a whooping cough vaccine. Turns out the vaccination clinic closes at 3:30 p.m. so I have to come back tomorrow in the morning. And Lily's like, oh well, no ice cream for you then. Let's get ice cream. I'm still getting an ice cream. I came to the hospital. The general consensus in the comments has been, give us more of the backstory. Explain how you got to this point. I'm remiss to give away too much information, and that's because basically anyone in the world can access YouTube, unless you're in prison. Or say you're a convicted pedophile on house arrest, people with all manner of proclivities, abhorrent or not. Now, I'm no stranger to being in the public eye. Worked in King's Cross quite publicly with sick, homeless people for many years. Later, I worked closely with police, removing children from their sick parents. I also spent some time working for local government. So I'm completely au fait with having my face out there. And whilst 99% of the people that make comments or come into the bar and meet me are honourable, impressive, humble, intelligent people, there's enough nastiness out there to make any self-respecting YouTuber hold a little bit back. Back at the hospital, day 2 for this big fat injection. Happy days. If you're a bit squeamish about big needles, you might want to turn away for 30 seconds because this is a triple whammy: tetanus, whooping cough, and other thing I can't pronounce. Diphtheria. Bangkok International Hospital, Pattaya really is like a 5-star hotel. Blood pressure, all good. Here we go. All done. Total cost for that, I think 1,300 baht. Too easy. Back to Lily's house to continue the home renos. As Kuzi says, it doesn't really matter about us boys, whether we get into strife or not, if people find out about us and our lives or not, if we get hurt or not, doesn't matter. But where females are involved, got to be a lot more careful. And I made the fatal error of clicking onto the held comments the other day, and by gosh, I was glad that those filters are on. All manner of comments. I want to RAPE your girlfriend, etc, etc, etc. And you know what? If there was any credibility to these comments, I'd be compelled to do something about it. I know there's not. These are people that will never come to Thailand. They'll probably never leave their own town. They're stuck at home. They're miserable. And they enjoy talking about RAPING women on the internet. So that's a bit of context. Home renos. Let's go. Dreamer Market on Sukhumvit Main Road coming into Pattaya. Very fresh out today. Come round to the plant market. Being such a large consumer of spinach leaves, I'm sick of going to the shops and buying it, so I'm gonna get a little spinach plant. No way. You can literally buy ganja plant. Oh, check out these little putty tats. 80 baht for a papaya plant. So here's something I just realised, 6.5 months late. Papaya is actually pawpaw in Australia. You definitely need your own papaya plant for your somtam. They use it early on in the growth cycle, so it's not orange and it's not sweet. I can eat it the way she cooks it, but man, pawpaw in Australia, super sweet. And some lemongrass, eggplant. Hell yeah, that's me. How much for this one?
20 baht.
20 baht, 80 cents. My first ever eggplant plant. And everywhere you go, there's a souped up wave 125. And this one is an absolute beauty. If I realise that it's not a plant, it's still green. Are these for pets or for eating? Pets. And you take them and put them in your pond at home.
I used to have that in my...
Oh, you nearly fell out. Mama just chucks them in. Like, get out of there. So this is a lotus leaf. They're gonna be like a home for the little fishies, huh? Lily inherited that place that she's living in now after a tragic set of deaths in her family. And there's no way that she can afford the repayments monthly outright. So I'm helping her to get it ready to put on Airbnb. But in the long term, she is hell bent on holding on to that property because the way she sees it, it belongs to her nephews. And when they grow up, they're only 9 and 12 now, but when they grow up, they're gonna need somewhere to live.
When they dry.
It's out of control, yeah?
Yeah.
What the?
Somebody do like this with a chicken.
Cigarette, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've cleaned out the pond, and now the little fishies are going back in? Hey, fellas. Nice job, man. When I came along, I could see that the property needed some serious work. Single mother looking after 4 young children and a grandma and a grandma's grandma doesn't leave a lot of time for getting a property ready, up to spec, in order for it to rent successfully on Airbnb, right? So over the last 2 weeks, we've gone about repotting a bunch of the plants. I've been repainting all the nice old pots that looked a little bit deteriorated. This was just a test patch to see how paint went on without sanding. Not great, it's gonna peel off. So ultimately, I'm not looking forward to this job. I'm gonna rent a big belt sander and take off this super chipped paint, back to cement, then seal it, prime it, then paint it properly. The veggie garden's coming along, but you can see there is so much paintwork that needs to be done. We've been to a nursery and we have found these, not Besser blocks, what are they called? We've ordered about 30 or 40 of them to create a path so you can access the pull area from the front. It is very, very DIY what we're doing, and ultimately trying to do it on the lowest possible budget. And these old air conditioner inverters, the house has 4, 2 of them are busted. So this was a storage area around here, so we've started removing all the crap from there so the aircon man can get in there to fix the inverter. And judging by the photos that I saw of the fireworks at Pattaya Beach last night, the crowds that are coming, not just foreigners from Bangkok and families outside of Pattaya coming every weekend to enjoy the seaside, our rental market is not solely foreigners. I think we'll be pitching to folks from Bangkok as well who just want a weekend with a pool villa. There is a mega amount of work to do here. It's going to be tough next 2 weeks. If anyone knows where I can find a gurney, let me know. And I'll keep you posted on developments.